Hey guys, this is Ryan. I have an expert level selecting with Lasso tool tutorial here in Adobe Photoshop. This is the single most used selection trick that I use. I tell everyone about it who's interested in improving their Photoshop skills, and I hope you can pick this up and follow it and use it often. So let's say you want to select some area of the photo with the Lasso tool, and obviously I'm not doing it perfectly. We're going to refine it. In order to add to that selection, we hold down Shift, which is right there on your keyboard. And this works for both Mac and PC. And then we can keep adding new selections to it. And then if we want to remove from that selection, we hold down Option or Alt on your keyboard. Option on a Mac, Alt on a PC. And you can see how it changes the selection. So we're going to continue refining that. The only problem with doing it this way is you have to do each individual, let me move my mouse a little closer so you can see it, each individual selection with the mouse button selected or pressed down, and it's very difficult to go back and forth in between the two, and so it's kind of a slow process. I'm going to show you a trick that will ease this process and make it so that you're going way faster. So what we're going to do, let's start with the add to the selection. We'll zoom in a little bit here, and we're going to focus down here on her fingers. So what you're going to do is you're going to do the same as you would have done to add to the selection normally. We still have our selection. You can see the little, what you call them, marching ants, the little animated dotted line where we have selected, and we're going to hold down Shift, and we're going to start to drag. And the second we start to drag, we've got some selection started, we're going to switch to the Alt and Option button. And so that's right there, and I'll keep my thumb on it so you can see. And now I can let up on the mouse here, but you can see that my selection on the monitor itself, that it's still remaining selected. Let me show you the difference. If we have just the regular add to the selection and we pick up that mouse, well, it's just going to make a straight line in between our first point and our last point and make a shape there. We don't want that. So what this does is you hold down Shift, you start to drag, and then you hold down Option, you switch to Option, and then you can do the polygon selection or an organic selection, and you don't have to switch back and forth the tools, but you get to select whatever you need until you finish your selection. And then when you're done with that selection, just pick up the Option or Alt key, and there it is. So I'll undo that, and I'll show you that, go through the rest to select this circle here. And of course, I know there are better ways to select a circle, but we're going to be taking chunks out of that circle with her fingers here. Of course, you'd want to use the circular marquee tool, and see, you can just click points, or you can drag, click points, or drag shapes. And then when you want to let go, you let go of both the Option, Alt, and the mouse cursor, and that'll finish up your shape there. And do that again. So Shift, switch to Alt after you start dragging, and you can see I'm a little bit close Oops. That was with the Alt. Anyway, it's an easier way once you get the hang of it. It's an easier way to select around things that Magic Wand doesn't quite always get, and the magnetic lasso tool doesn't always get. I just do this just because it's just easy for me to do. I've been doing it for 20 years. So Shift, switch to Alt. And that's how you add to your selection. And you can take a break with either hand. And then if we want to remove some, let's say I added this here, and I want to remove this from the selection, it's similar as when you're adding to the selection. Instead of using Shift, we're going to go with Alt. So what we'll start with is the Alt or Option key, and we will start to drag, and then while the mouse finger is still down, we pick up from Alt and put it right back down. And that triggers to Photoshop that says, okay, now we're doing the polygon regular lasso tool swap, and I can do points to make a polygon kind of a shape, or I can drag to get that organic shape. And you can just keep going as long as you keep your finger on that Alt or Option key. And then when you're ready to be finished with it, then let go of the Option key, and that'll finish out your selection. So let me drag over and we'll complete the rest of this selection here. Start to drag, pick up, back down with Alt. We're going to remove that, and then we'll come right back along this line, and then where it starts to curve, we can follow that curve. Now we let go, and we've removed that from the selection. Go back to the additive. We're going to add to the selection with the Shift, and then as soon as we want to switch to the other tool, and we just switch over to the Alt key. And there it is. Anyway, again, this is the single most used selection method that I use when I'm trying to fine-tune around shapes and it gets fuzzy where the Magic Wand won't pick it up, or I have to mess with the tolerances or whatever. It's just so much easier to just click and drag. I could show you this with the stylus as well, and we'll do that right now. We'll move up to this area, and I will hold down Shift and start to drag, switch to Option, and then I can just click points if I wanted to, or I can organically go around there. And up here it may have been better to start with a marquee, a circular marquee tool, because it would select that circle, but I'm already committed. We're doing it. We'll subtract from this one. And don't forget, see, as I've forgotten just now, I forgot to pick up my mouse or my finger from the Alt key. So pick it up, put it back down, and then I can just drag away that shape. I'll do this other one here too. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Try it out, see if you can get this method down as a good practice, and welcome to expert level Photoshop. Have a good day.